Every year around this time, federal retirees wait for one number, the cost of living adjustment, or COLA. It's more than just a percentage. For retirees living on fixed income, your pension, your Social Security, your TSP withdrawals, COLA determines how well you can keep up with rising prices. So today, let's break down the 2025 COLA announcement, how it affects FERS, CSRS, and Social Security, and what you can do to make sure your income keeps pace with inflation. What is the 2025 COLA? The 2025 Cost of Living Adjustment, announced in early October, is based on changes in the Consumer Price Index for Urban Wage Earners, CPI-W, comparing the third quarter of 2024 to the third quarter of 2023. For 2025, the Social Security COLA has been set at Insert Official once announced, and the same adjustment applies to CSRS annuities. If you're under FERS, your COLA is slightly less generous. The FERS formula is known as the Diet COLA. Here's how it works. If inflation is 2% or less, FERS retirees get the full amount. If inflation is between 2% and 3%, you get 2%. If inflation is 3% or higher, you get 1% less than the full increase. So if the COLA is 3.2%, FERS retirees receive 2.2%. That 1% gap may not sound like much, but over time it compounds. And that's why understanding COLA is so important to your long-term retirement income strategy. Who gets it? And when, if you're retired under CSRS, you receive the full COLA automatically each January. If you're under FERS, you only receive a COLA after age 62, unless you're a special provisions retiree, like law enforcement, firefighters, or air traffic controllers. So if you retired at 57 under standard FERS rules, you won't see your first COLA until the January after your 62nd birthday. That's a full 5 years with no inflation adjustment. During times of high inflation, that can really erode purchasing power. Quick tip. If you're in your 50s or early 60s and planning retirement soon, you need to factor that COLA gap into your income plan. Schedule your federal retirement benefits review at federalpensionadvisor.com. In 15 minutes, we'll show you how to project your pension, TSP, and Social Security income, with and without COLA, so you can see the real impact of inflation before you file your retirement paperwork. Why COLA exists and what it really protects. COLA was designed to preserve purchasing power, to make sure your retirement income doesn't lose value as the cost of living rises. But here's something most retirees miss. COLA protects against inflation, not lifestyle inflation. If your spending naturally goes up because of travel, family, or healthcare costs, COLA won't cover those increases. It simply tracks the average price changes in the economy. That's why even though we saw a healthy COLA last year, many retirees still felt behind because housing, food, and healthcare rose faster than the overall average. Real example, FERS versus CSRS over time. Let's compare two federal retirees who each have a $50,000 annual pension. One retired under CSRS, getting the full COLA. The other retired under FERS, where the COLA is 1% lower when inflation is above 3%. If inflation averages 3% per year, after 20 years, the CSRS retiree's pension grows to about $90,000. The FERS retiree's pension grows to about $82,000. That's an $8,000 per year gap, simply due to the Diet COLA difference. Add to that the 5-year delay before the first FERS COLA starts, and the difference in lifetime income can reach 6 figures. What about Social Security? If you're collecting Social Security, you'll see the same COLA percentage as CSRS retirees, the full adjustment each year. Your benefit automatically increases in January based on your eligibility month. However, if you're under the Windfall Elimination Provision, WEP, or the Government Pension Offset, GPO, your COLA is applied to your reduced benefit amount, not to what you would have received without those offsets. That's another reason why it's important to coordinate your FERS pension and Social Security strategically, not in isolation. How COLA affects TSP withdrawals, your thrift savings plan, TSP, does not receive an automatic COLA. It's an investment account, so the adjustment comes from your returns. If you're drawing income from TSP, inflation can quietly erode your withdrawal power if you don't adjust your strategy. Some retirees use G, fund, or Roth balance adjustments to hedge inflation. But the most sustainable approach is to plan for annual increases in withdrawals, typically 2-3% per year, while monitoring investment returns. The bottom line, COLA is one of the most powerful, yet misunderstood, features of federal retirement income. For CSRS retirees, it's full protection. For FERS retirees, it's partial protection after 62. And for your TSP, there's no automatic protection at all. That's why the best retirement plans combine all three. A pension that grows modestly through COLA Social Security that keeps up fully with inflation, and a TSP strategy that fills the gaps and adjusts over time. If you want to see how this year's COLA impacts your long-term income plan, visit federalpensionadvisor.com to book a personalized review. The key takeaway: COLA is more than a number. It's a reminder to review your entire income plan each year, because inflation doesn't wait for anyone.